Alright, so today I'm going to be explaining my lesson plan that I have taught, and it is for the kindergarten grade level, focusing on the language arts subject matter. The main topic of my lesson plan that I came up with was really focusing on the different learning styles. So this will be demonstrated by the students will be grabbing a pile of index cards every day, and they're broken down in different subject matter. And so basically, on each picture, or each card will be a picture. The student will have to explain and tell me what that picture is. For example, the student will be presented with a card with an object of an apple. The student will use a verbal cue to say what the object is depicting. If the student does not know the object on the card, he or she will place the card in an unknown pile. If the student does know the card, he or she will put the pile in the correct pile. This kind of helps, not discourage the students if they get it wrong, but also uplift a little bit if the students get it right. They can see how many they have in the correct pile and then how many they also need to work on. Once the series of the cards are complete, we will review the unknown pile and go over the cards together. So the student will take the card and say, and they'll show it to me, and they'll say, "This is an apple," and I'll have them repeat it. What is this again? An apple. And we'll still put it back in the pile and we'll review it again. Here the student will have the content knowledge to be able to then repeat all the objects to me. This again, hearing them speak what they're talking about will help them understand, and as a memorization tool, use, "Oh, I know it," so they can say, "Okay, this is an apple," and if they say it again, the more you say it, the more you see it, the more you'll remember it and understand. So the materials we obviously will need to demonstrate and understand this learning will be the note cards that are made for the students with the objects on them. But I'd also like to incorporate an iPad in our lessons. A little bit of technology. This is more fun for the students. They can touch stuff and move stuff around. And as for a 5- and 6-year-old grade level, it's a lot more fun. Just a different learning style that'll keep them interested in the topic. Below in my lesson plan, I've also incorporated a website that has a bunch of different flashcards, a bunch of different ideas and stuff, so you're not always using every week the same exact things. Then that'll be boring for the student. It'll just become easy. You always want to challenge the students. You always want to make them learn. So the student will demonstrate understanding and knowledge of different cards that will be presented to them. The series of the cards will be changed every 2 days to different subject matters so that their fast twitch muscle memory is constantly working. The students will always be involved, focusing on the pictures he or she remembers and focusing on the learning on the ones that are put in which piles. They'll be rewarded once gaining higher knowledge of the subject matter, and the students can demonstrate the information. They'll be given a wooden token at the end of the week. Once they collect so many wooden tokens, they're allowed to take it to our treasure chest and gain a prize out of it. So that's also a little bit of a rewarding system, not so much discouraging, but something to give them something to work for. Again, they will be demonstrated the cards covering different subject matter. On the card will have a picture. The student must use a verbal cue of what that subject matter is. Once completed, if right, they'll place it in whichever pile. The students will work on all displays of learning, such as visual, verbally, content knowledge, which demonstrates also in the course of study. My main focus, as mentioned before, is I want to cover all the different learning styles. Me personally, I'm a visual learner. I can see, if I have it in front of me, I will learn it better. A lot of people also, I'm better at doing something, performing the task, seeing it and then performing it. My muscles remember how to do something, and that's also probably the athletic background that I have playing sports. There's a lot of students, they have to hear it. They have to hear, okay, say it again, say it again, say it again. So here in my lesson, I would like to focus on multiple learning styles, so I'm not just meeting the needs of one student, I'm always meeting the needs of all of my students. Once we go through the series of cards twice, the student gains more knowledge. I will then have the students hold the cards and show me the picture, telling me what the picture. A lot of students respond better when they're in control of situations, so I also not want to show them that, oh, since I'm the teacher, I'm always the higher in control. Yes, I'm the authoritative figure to them, and they're looking up to me, but I also want them to learn better by holding something. A lot of times when you're holding something, you feel in more power, so I want them to start young, feeling like they're in control of the situation. This also creates a fun learning environment for the student to show me how much they have given out of in the lesson, which is created. So I like to keep it fun, keep it interesting, keep it entertaining as well. They'll be allowed to take the note cards that we reviewed in class. They'll be able to take them home and practice and get better at the different subjects and different memorization tools that we worked on in class. I believe the students that take home the note cards will be able to grasp the information better, allowing this technique of memorization to be taken to different subject matters. So when they start learning math and they start learning vocabulary words, for example, you can always create that on an index card. I don't believe this works for every student, but given the visual hands-on learners, I feel like it really touches their knowledge of that. Each set of cards will be placed in a color-coded box so that the students know what the day is according to what color box they need to retrieve their cards from. Another muscle memory tool that we work on can associate something with a color, which is also an easier tool to learn. This not only works knowing the system of cards, but understanding organization as well as responsibility, so that they know, okay, I need to take this stack of cards to the pink because it's Wednesday. So it's teaching them different tools that they can also use outside of the classroom and they can take home. On Fridays, I will allow the students to pick which color or category of cards they like best. If the student can name all cards correctly, they will receive a double the amount of wooden tokens and be allowed to pick something from the treasure chest. I will readdress the according piles the students must place in the cards in. The correct ones will go in the correct pile, and the other pile is the unknown pile. We don't want to say that that's the wrong pile. They didn't necessarily get it wrong. They just either struggled with it or simply didn't remember it. I will also allow on Fridays for the students to partner to build class motivation, work together in groups, showing each other the cards. Just creates a more fun environment that the students can have in class. I will be able to tell if the students understood the lesson by seeing how the students progressed each day, understanding the significant placement of the piles, if they ended up lowering the number of the actual note cards they placed in the unknown section, or if they got better at it. As I mentioned before, the students are always welcome to take home the cards and work on things. Their parents can do it, and it'll be a fun tool to interact with the parents, and this is highly, highly, highly encouraged by me. I feel as if I made this a fun activity to help my students gain higher knowledge in class. I will always take into consideration how I can improve on my lesson. I love feedback, whether I take it from my students or the parents. As teachers, we're always looking to change, innovate, and improve. And we're not only learning from our students, we're also learning from each other. So I feel like watching videos of lessons on other teachers or seeing things demonstrated in class, I think that's why collaborative learning is a really, really high tool, because you're not only hitting certain students with how the method of you teach, but reflecting on the other ways that the other teacher is teaching as well. I really think also makes it not such a boring lecture type of sit back. I think the more different types of tools we can incorporate, such as technology, such as iPads, tablets, stuff like that, I think that really hits home and makes the learning environment more fun. I know in my undergrad when I taught physical education, we worked with the Wii a lot, and most of the times you think, oh, the kids are going home playing the Wii, it's much a laid back, activity, they're not, their brain's not working as much, but we also played Wii Just Fit, and I got in there and jumped in with the kids, and they had a fun time, and you're playing games, which they react to, that's their generation, they like that kind of stuff, they like the visual, the seeing, the moving, the interacting. So I think the more we incorporate technology or different types of learning styles, it can really focus on how to really truly reach our students on many different levels, as well as me, the teacher, and other teachers learn from each other. So thank you.